Two of the most important functions of selection committee members are maintaining the confidentiality of the process and keeping records of the process. Selection committee members will have access to a great deal of privileged and confidential information in the selection process. Selection committee members will view a number of documents submitted by candidates that contain sensitive information, such as the names of candidates who have applied for the position, facts in the district application form and the candidate's resume, transcripts, and letters of application and recommendation. While more recently acquired transcripts will not contain Social Security numbers, many candidates will submit copies of older transcripts which do contain that information. The applications may indicate that a candidate has a conviction or has been released from a former position. All of this information is submitted with the understanding that it is confidential and will not be released by selection committee members. Selection committee members will also have discussions concerning the qualifications of individual candidates and will interview a number of candidates in the process. It is important that these discussions and the candidates' performances in the interview process remain confidential. Members must not discuss candidate information or the process outside of committee meetings. Confidentiality in the process assures candidates that the materials that they submit and their performances in the interview process will be treated in a professional and respectful manner. An external candidate is assured that his or her current employment will not be jeopardized by the district's process. An internal candidate is assured that his or her information and performance will not be freely discussed with coworkers. These assurances promote the success of the process. Confidentiality is so important that a selection committee member will receive this advisement in training and will be asked to sign a confidentiality statement before the member participates in a selection process. The signed confidentiality statement will become part of the records of the selection process and will be maintained with all of the records for 3 years as required by Title V. The district maintains records of every stage of the selection process. Record keeping begins with the employment request form and continues through the records submitted to the Board of Trustees for employment of the selected candidate. Each candidate will submit materials for consideration in the selection process. All of the materials are considered the candidate's application. The candidate's application is an important part of the district's records. If a candidate files a complaint about the district's process and alleges that the process is discriminatory, unfair, or biased, then the district's records may be audited by an external agency. In such cases, that outside agency will look at all of the applications the district received for a particular position. The applications should not be altered. When selection committee members have circled spelling or grammar errors or have written comments on the materials, these are considered alterations to those records. It is important that each selection committee member treats applications as district records and that the records remain as they are submitted. If the district's hiring determination is challenged, it is important that the district is able to demonstrate how it arrived at its decision. The records kept by each selection committee member document the district's decision-making process. The district asks that selection committee members keep records indicating the reasons for each rating. Take notes as you're rating. These notes do not have to be detailed explanations. A selection committee member may use a word or a phrase to capture a thought. As an example, good teaching experience, or an abbreviation such as GD, teaching, EXP, will make a good record. A selection committee member may write informal comments such as did not answer the question, monotone delivery, or not confident. These comments are accurate and valuable as indicators for a rating. While most of these records will only be used during the selection process, it is important to remember that these records may be read by others. Written comments should remain professional. The district encourages committees to engage in a thorough discussion of candidates and their qualifications for the position. After such discussions, some committee members may be persuaded by these discussions to change their original ratings of the candidate. This is reflective of an open and dynamic process. Remember to change the rating sheets when you change a score. The records must be an accurate reflection of the decision that the committee makes. The following is a word of advice in the record-keeping process. The Human Resources staff takes the paper screening tools and develops a spreadsheet of candidate ratings based on the scores of each candidate. The staff does not check the addition. if you do not carry the 1 in adding a score for a particular candidate, it could mean that a candidate does not get an interview because of an addition error. If you are math challenged or you're reading a lot of applications, you may want to bring a calculator to make sure that each candidate is scored the way you intended.